Hey creative friends, welcome to Tracy Bautista Color. I am at the beach this morning and I thought I'd show just a little peek into my traveling art studio. I'm out here visiting my family and just a few of the things I brought. So I have a mini mixed media pad from Strathmore, which has my art on the cover. I also have a little, what's this thing called? I always forget the name. Art Creations sketchbook that has some of my current collection. This is the Urban Petals watercolors. And then I have a set of the Urban Petals watercolors, some of the pigment bars and wax printmaking bars. One of the limited edition inks in the Ink Atelier ink subscription, which is part of this drop, and then the new wax confetti cakes. These are the mini ones. And some of my favorite tools, I've got silver brush, palette knife, and then I bring a bunch of different brushes. So I've got a bunch of silver brushes in here. I love the dagger stripers, another palette knife, and then just a bunch of different mixed media supplies. So I've got a few watercolor markers, some acrylic markers, lots of water soluble markers and pens, and I've got some other, these are the Daniel Smith watercolor sticks. So I love taking something like this on the road too, because they're easy to work with. So I just have a few colors. I actually got these in Hawaii at Hawaiian Graphics. And then a bunch of colored pencils. I tried to pare it down, and some sketching pencils. And then I usually bring my supplies in my trusty Aloha bags. So these are great for the beach because they're easy to wash and clean, but I've got more paper, another towel in there. And then just some other supplies, some more inks, and then my gym bag actually. So I'm gonna paint a little bit, but I just thought that it would be fun to show you some of the stuff that I bring with me. And I usually come out here for sunrise early morning, so I've been out here for about an hour and try to catch the sunrise and just spend a little time painting and playing. Enjoy the peek inside of my mixed media handcrafted art supplies while I'm traveling. I'd love to know what you bring with you also. Okay, so I went in with a Stabilo Woody because I wanted to just kind of blend some of the areas with this. And this is white, so it gives you a little tint of the color. and it's oil-based, water soluble, so it works great with my pigment bars and any of my wax paints because the color has wax or has oil or wax in it. And then also the Neo Color 1 metallic, these also work great over the top of any of my wax products. And then up here I took a little bit of the wax medium confetti pot, and you can see how soft it is, and I just wanted to create a little abstract mark making. So obviously I'm at the beach and I am painting abstract waves. It's low tide right now, so really I'm just having fun with the color and with the tools that I brought. And you can see for this I should get my watercolors out of the way. For this, I'm just kind of blending on the page, but you can pre-blend before you like put it out on to the paper. And I love the marks that you can get on there. Okay, so I just opened up a couple more of the wax pots. Oh, there they go. Oh, and so in here, let's see if I can get that in focus. This one has glass metallic glitter in there, and they're just little glass shards, so they embed right into the wax when you put it down on the page. These have a little bit of the confetti wax inside, so you get multiple colors, and this has some of the big confetti rocks, and you can see there's some glitter in there too. So they're all kind of different and they're mixed, and you can mix all of them together with my pigment bars and with the wax printmaking bars. And so I'm just going to continue to make a few marks on here, and I saved a color, so I had pre-mixed some color when I was swatching the other day, so I saved that. Okay, so I forgot my tripod, so I'm hand holding this again. So I just took out a little bit of that blue black kind of ish. It's really beautiful dark blue. I mixed a few of the colors from the collection and just got this really like dark purpley phthalo blue, and then when you scrape into it you can really see the color underneath the undertone. It's got this like really beautiful teal color. I love working with these with palette knives. You could also use like oil painting brushes, like a stiff hog hair bristle, which I didn't bring any, I don't think, because all those brushes are really large. Actually, I should see. I think my mom has some in her studio. But this is all I brought in my travel kit, so I'm just using these for now. But I love that you can scrape back into them. So I normally would have prepped the surface with some gesso or with actually I love actually using super matte medium or adding pumice into any of my mediums, because I find that it creates a really amazing texture. But I didn't prepare very well. I just grabbed everything and left. A lot better than the last time. I think I just didn't bring any art supplies. Not this last year, but a couple of years ago. I think I just was so in a rush I didn't bring anything. And so this year I just made sure that I got like a little set of stuff, and I wanted to showcase the new wax drop. And so I'm just going to kind of spread these out here. Again, so much fun for just playing and getting like abstract mark making down. And this is going to be a great resist, and they will oxidize because there's a little bit of linseed oil in them. So that's another reason to put the gesso or some kind of medium underneath, because the oil will bleed through, which this is my sketchbook, my working sketchbook, so I'm not too worried. So you can kind of see a little of the oil from the swatching that I did. This is almost set. It's been a few days, I think, since I originally, all the thin layers are dry, but the thicker ones, there's a little bit of areas that still need a little time to dry. So it is wax and oil based, so it's going to take a while to set and to oxidize. But the thinner the layers that you put, the faster it will dry. There we go. And then let's just do this last one. A little bit of this greenish, oh wait, is this the one I did earlier? Yeah, I did, it is. So I'll get a little bit of the purple one in here in a minute. Look at the really cool sgraffito mark making you can make with that. I love coming out here in the morning because there's not a lot of people, and oh look, there's a little puppy. Lots of doggies. Today is low tide, so you can see it's definitely, a lot of people go out there and exercise, walk. You can walk all the way across over into the water over there. And then here's a little of the lavender. It's like a gray lavender color. And the sun is really bright right now. So I had my bag over here and it was looking really dark, so I moved it. So I'm loving this for just the abstract mark making. It's very loose and free. You can get a little bit more control if you use a brush, if you use the pigment bars or the wax. So I make, they're actually, the pigment bars, if you haven't seen them before, are this size. So you have duotone, you get a little bit of confetti in the center. Let's see, I'm getting a little blurriness. And then you can take this and just like color with them. One side is usually lighter, so you can get a little fun blending action going. And then one side, the other side is a little darker, so you can also smear it with your fingers. I usually wear gloves. I forgot my glove, so I'm trying to not make too much of a mess. And it's getting really hot, so these are getting very soft. And then there's one of the wax print making bars. So these are meant to be used like this, just for mark making and scribbling. And then you can also heat them and get some really great mono printing techniques. So I heat them with a griddle, or I also have a heat warming tray, this new like heat warming, what is that stuff called? It's like a really thin tray that heats up, and you can put your food dishes on it. And then it's made of, is it Teflon? I can't remember. You can also see, you can get thick pieces, and I'm just gonna leave those. They will oxidize and dry eventually. I'll have to put, I brought some parchment paper so that I can put them in between the pages before I close the journal. So this has a little bit of a peach in there, so you'll see some of that come out when you use it. I could blend it, but I really like the thickness of it. Also, I don't have my glasses on. So, lots of movement, lots of texture. And then I think I'm gonna play with some watercolor over it in a minute. But let me see if I have any other tools that I can bring inside to this to kind of blend things out so you can see. I don't remember what I brought with me, so I'll be right back. Okay, I found some stuff. I found a little gift card. I always use these to spread things. make marks. And then I found a little tiny mark making toolkit that I threw in there. Although I didn't bring any of my sponges, but that's fine. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of watercolor and ink in here. I love these little sauce pans. I actually discovered them at a Japanese market sushi spot in LA. And so now I use them and I put them in my my packaging as one of the little bonus freebies, because it's a great little dish, and you can, with watercolor and ink, you can just let it sit there and dry, and then once it's dry, you can re-wet it and it works like brand new. So I have a bunch of these with just a little, but they're like little mini color pots. So this is one of the inks, and it's so pretty. It's got a matte gold pigment in there, and then it's got a turquoise green color. So it's getting very bright out here, and I don't know if you're going to see it very well, but I'm going to put a little bit in that little sauce dish, and then do a little bit of resist. Okay, I brought also one of my travel paint brushes from Silver Brush, and you just put the cap on the back, and now you have a full-size brush. So I'm going to use this with my ink. I put a little bit of ink inside, and you can kind of see the gold, I think. I don't know. It looks like you can in my camera. And then I'm just going to put a little bit on here. So you'll see it is actually resisting anywhere that has a little bit of wax. So it's definitely more of a transparent ink, but when it dries, you'll see that matte color come out. So I love using my inks and watercolors for resist. Okay, so I have a little bit of my watercolor. I think I put it back in its bag when it was wet, so, which is fine. I'm gonna use this as my water for now and just mix that on here and pick up some of this color and just use it as part of the resist. Maybe we'll do a little bit of fuchsia color. Just kind of pop it in here somewhere. So I mixed it with a little of the yellow. It kind of has an ochre in it, so you're getting it to see it's more, ends up becoming a little bit more brown, which is actually perfect because right now there's so much sand that's sitting at the surface of the water area because the tide's so low. So I'll just put a little bit more in here just to add a little bit of contrast in there. And then I didn't bring a little water container, but I do have a water brush. So I'm gonna switch to that really quick. I'll usually bring a round brush also, and then I have a bunch of dagger stripers like I think I showed in the beginning that I like to use. But I also have a water brush from Sakura of America. I'm gonna use this to mix a really darker kind of brownish blue color. Actually, it's brownish gray. And then it can also spread some of the watercolor and ink around. It's a great thing about having a water brush when you travel. So, just a little bit more abstract mark making. I'm going to let that dry, and then I think I'll probably come over the top with some other, I have some acrylic, I have an acrylic pen. I might use this and see what other things I have in there, but just wanted to show you a little play during one of my sunrise studio sessions at the beach. Okay, so I brought a little bit of parchment paper. Since this is thick right now, I don't want to press the pages together, so I'm just going to lay that on there, close up my sketchbook, and then do a little work on the mixed media pad really quick. I may come back over this, but I actually am liking the study that I did here, and we'll see. I'll see how the watercolor dries, and if I want to add anything else on it. But oftentimes I will put deli paper or parchment in between the pages. A little woody now. So I'm going to do that and close this up, and then play a little bit more. So hope you enjoyed a little peek at my morning sketch practice from the beach. Hey creative friends, welcome to Tracy Bautista Color. I'm just going to show you really quickly some of the work I did this morning, and I was just packing up and I realized I didn't put myself on the camera at all. So here is a little sampling of the wax capsule collection that just dropped for the Urban Petals collection, and show you some of it on top of my watercolors too. So I do a lot of swatching in this book. There's a lot of color. This is the last trip to Hawaii earlier in the year, and lots of swatching in there. So I just wanted to show you some of the fun stuff I worked on this morning. Thanks for watching.